University's here. This is it. This is the opportunity that we've been waiting for. But there's only one problem. How am I supposed to prove that?
Hello. Sorry, it's my first time using this Stream Deck, and I didn't even press the button yet. I think I accidentally hit like a hotkey that I set up, and then it just switched over to my main review screen. So still trying to figure things out, but what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another month, another work review stream. It's lovely having all you joining me today. I'm just catching up with chat. I was like typing and then it like switched over for a second. We got, oh, watch me butcher your usernames. Shin Nightcore 1, what's going on? Hello. We got Jukesy, good morning. Oh, damn. Morning over there. It's evening over here, actually. It's 8 p.m. PT here in the West Coast. We got Zoham Zero. Hello, hello. Let me know where you guys are tuning in, what time it is over there, because yeah, over here it's 8 p.m. So you'll notice that we started stream a little bit later than usual because I actually did a little poll in the announcements a little while ago. Let me click the button this time instead of having to use my mouse. Here we go. Boom. It's nice. I don't know if you guys seen it yet. I'll show you a picture of it later, but I just want to show you, yeah, I took a little poll just to see what your guys' preferences were in terms of me streaming, because I used to stream at 5 p.m. my time, and then there were some people who couldn't make it because it's too late or too early, and you know, I want to make sure that I'm accommodating for all of you guys who are across the world. And the majority won at 8 p.m. PT, which is 3 a.m. Universal time. So that's why we're here. Yeah, new tech. Oh, you're watching this Mexico versus Ecuador while watching for my boss appearance at the same time. Nice. We got Os Diamond. What's going on? 6 a.m. in Egypt. Damn. 6 a.m. for this. Thank you for tuning in so early. I don't know if I would ever wake up 6 a.m. to tune into any stream. Oz is in Vegas. Oh, okay, nice. So we got Fabi Reyes. I think it's Fabi. Is that right? 11:10 p.m. in Florida. Oh, okay. Florida. Oh yeah, you guys would be ahead. 9:10. Okay. We got Jose in the chat. What's going on? We got quite a few people joining in today. We actually got quite a few submissions today. In the submit for live review, I was just, as I was doing the starting soon screen, I was just making sure all the links work, and thankfully I checked because I had to sign into like my what's it called? What's the word? Instagram. That's what it was. It signed me out. I've been signed out of all my accounts quite frequently. Oh, we got some more people in chat. We got Spartan HQ. Dude, okay, so I think this is your username because I was going through things. Is this you, Spartan? Pretty sure it is, right? So I think your account got compromised because there was some spam in the community, and I was like, this is not a bot. This is a member that's been with us for a while. I might be wrong, by the way, but I'm pretty sure this is you. 4 a.m. Nigeria. Damn, 4 a.m. is crazy. 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. We got Michael branded, bro. This is dope. East Coast. MD. Not sure what that stands for, but 11:16 p.m. Oh, damn. 11:16 p.m. Catching the stream live. Huge pop. Yes. Wait a second. Is this Nick? Is this who I think it is? What's going on, man? Welcome in. I don't know if it's your first time tuning into one of my streams, but I'm glad to have you here. Damn crazy to see everyone from different times. Yeah, people from across the world. It is pretty crazy. Spartan says, yeah, I ended up opening up a new one. Yeah. Unfortunate. I've also been a victim to having my Discord hacked before, and it was not fun. I think I was like sending 18 plus links or something, and I got kicked out of a few servers, rightfully so. So just make sure, this is like a PSA for everyone, to just make sure you have 2-factor authentication turned on for Discord, because people can pretend to be you. You've been kicked from all settings servers for that. Yeah, that's pretty annoying, but this stuff happens. Yeah, for anyone who is tuning in for the first time here, or just watching the stream after and not live, I do a monthly review stream where let me press these buttons. Boom. I do this once a month where I review your work live. So for anyone who submits it in my Discord community, frame by frame, I will check out your work. And usually I try to make things fair for everyone by following some guidelines. So the guidelines are usually, let me turn off this filter. I make sure that it's under 3 minutes, or I will review the first 3 minutes, or I might skim your video just to make sure that I'm not spending my entire day doing this stream. Unfortunately, I don't have the energy for that. 1 submission per person, and usually I will tell you one thing that I liked about it, like one thing that I think is strong and you should keep doing, and one thing that I think might require a bit more focus. And I'll usually just kind of like ramble on, or just like throw in my thoughts here and there while the video is playing. But as always, it's just my opinions. Take it with a grain of salt. It is not, how would I say it? I do not promise that the advice I give is going to definitely improve it, but I do want to be that person who is like, you know, just standing next to you, kind of shadowing you, and I just point something out because it's something that I would watch out for. But some people have been finding it helpful, which is great. A lot of you have, which is why I keep doing it. So yeah. And just a heads up, if you did not know, I do have an online community on Discord called Frame by Frame. There is a free section and there is a paid section. And the paid section is basically called Kaizen. You're a Kaizen member. There are 3 tiers, and without going too much into it, basically it was my solution to going deeper into the techniques and the creative thinking behind a lot of my YouTube videos, because I get a lot of comments asking, Herman, how do I make videos like you? And this is an opportunity for me to go deeper. And I think that for courses and content libraries and whatever stuff that you usually see from creators, I feel like their educational material gets stale. It's like they curate it into one lesson and it's just like, is it applicable next year or the year after or whatever? So I have a format where I put out 3 lessons every month, and they will be replaced. They will expire and they will be replaced with 3 new ones every month. So it keeps things fresh, and it also creates a sense of urgency. So you apply what you learn right away so you can see real growth, because that's what I believe allows you to grow as a creator, not just hoarding a bunch of courses, but to actually use them and see yourself grow. So just wanted to share that. But yeah, we got quite a few over here, and I just want to make sure that anyone who's tuning into the stream right now that did not have a chance to submit their work to be reviewed, do it now. Let me know in the chat so I can kind of stall a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, we'll be starting out, and there are quite a few this month. Oh my, wait, okay. I turned off the filter because I was showing the rules and stuff, but if I turn it back on, there's still quite a few submissions. So yeah, maybe I'll get started in like the next couple minutes, take a sip of tea and make sure that I'm ready to dive into things. But how that happened, I didn't share anything. Oh, okay. So I'm just catching up on the chat. So Spartan, I think someone may have went into your account and just sent it on your behalf. So you didn't have to send it. There's probably a bot that sent it for you. They do it automatically for all the servers that you have access to, like any channels that you have access to. Juicy says, Herman, give us a brutal opinion. I need to see people cry. You know what? I need to like, how would I say it? I'm usually quite direct and blunt when I give feedback, especially for people who I'm closer with, because I feel like that's just one of those things that, you know, help people, right? But then for people that I'm not as familiar with, I try and be careful with my words because I don't want to come across as crass and hurt people's feelings. But I know that if I were to tune into, I don't know, like a creator I looked up to, like into their stream, and they were reviewing my work, I would hope they were honest with me and not just being, what's the word, like patronizing. Because then I'd just be like, oh yeah, my creator said good things about my work, but like, I don't know what to improve. Or like, if my work is actually not that great and they say it's great, I'm like, I can't really trust that. So that's something I'm working on in terms of the way I deliver my feedback. But overall, for all of these streams, I do try to be as honest as I can. So we got, Oz is asking, do you review TikTok/IG videos or only YouTube? I review any videos as long as they follow the format of this. And there's not a lot of rules. There's really just 5 rules. And if you do this submission template to give me some clarity on what you want me to pay attention to, then that helps. So really doesn't matter where it is. We got trying things saying on it. Welcome in, trying things. That's a username I haven't seen before, so welcome in. We got Joker saying I would be down, but I am not a member. Can I still participate? Yeah, absolutely. This is why I'm stalling. So for anyone who's joining in that is not in the server and does not submit their work for this month, please feel free to do so over here. As long as you have Discord, you can join in. And for any of you who do know how to join in, I have created a nice little macro key over here that will give you all the information, and hopefully it will. It won't send. Why? Oh, I see. There's a character limit. Damn. Well, I gotta fix that basically. I'm 158 characters over. But if you look at the stream description, it will have a link to join the server for free. Juicy says, yeah, oh yeah, I review everyone. Great. You already answered the question. You'll be Spartan says you'll be back in 15 minutes or 20. I need to do something first. No worries. Actually, Spartan, I think yours is the first one that we'll be going through, so I can skip yours first and then go over someone else's, just to make sure that you're around while I chat through it, because I know that I wouldn't want to miss live commentary on my work. We got Blue Phoenix saying currently working on something and try to add something I learned from a video, so that's why it's taking some time. All good. Yeah, I mean, I encourage anyone to, you know, try new things that they immediately learned, so that they can really put in the reps. Skip Spartan for the first few minutes. Nice. Okay. So while we're waiting for some more submissions, actually, there's one new post. Okay. One more. Is anyone else submitting their work right now? There's a bit of a delay, so I just want to make sure that I'm giving adequate time for everyone. But while we're waiting, I just want to. My softbox is blocking a portion of my screen, so I'm just bending my neck a little bit. But I just want to show you guys. This is the thing that I've set up. It's this little macro pad. It's I believe it's the Creative Deck DX200 from Ulanzi, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, lets me press a few buttons and then I can switch between scenes. Pretty fun. It's very clicky. So pretty excited about that. trying things as uploaded with a June 2026 tag. Unsure if it's still viewable. Is this one yours? Actually, there's one. Actually, it should say like one new post. Yeah. Hopefully this one is yours. Need some phlegm in my throat. Uh-oh. Joker says almost done. Trying things says actually we're good. Oh, okay. I assume that one's yours. How long is this monthly live stream? I try to keep it within 1 to 2 hours. Try to keep things concise and not drag things on, because especially now that I'm starting late, I only have so much energy. My brain is like a little fried, so please forgive me if I'm brain farting every so often. And also, I think I set my softbox a little to a bit more of a warmer light, so I'm sure my body is just like, oh, it's nighttime, it's sleepy time, man. Like, what are you still doing up here? I used to be a night owl, and then as I get older, I've learned that my body clock is more like a bear rather than an owl. I like sleep with the sun, I wake up with the sun. It's crazy. Oh, we got 4 threes. Drago asking if you had to start over from scratch knowing nothing but the process you took to get as good as you are now, what would your daily routine look like? Oh, that's a good one. Unfortunately, this is not going to be an Ask Me Anything stream, because I just want to make sure that I'm focusing on the submissions. It will not directly answer this question, but the next video that will be uploaded on my channel will kind of answer that, because I get a lot of people who ask me like, oh, where should they start? What should they do to get to the next level? And yeah, that's why I think my next video that I am actually still scripting and developing a shot list for, hopefully it will be uploaded in a month, so late July. So keep an eye out for that, and hopefully that will answer your question. Do you voiceover on the exact mic you're live streaming on? Yes. Same, Herman. I sleep like a bat. We got Waste Sanity saying which portable fog machine stays with the kit most. I don't really use a smoke machine very often lately, because I'm trying to just answer things very short, especially because it's not an Ask Me Anything. But I use this. I really like the Smoke Ninja. I'll just keep it as that. But I just moved recently, so I'm excited to use that more again. I used to live in a condo with a smoke machine that was really sensitive, so I stopped using fog machines, but now I have space to do it, so I'm excited to fog things up for it to look like I vape 24/7. Got that one music guy. Yo, what's up, everyone? What is going on? Welcome to the stream. We got Josh. Let's go. We got Josh Lowe. Herman, what's up, bro? Good to see you late at night. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited about that event that you got planning with Chris. So for those of you who don't know, Josh Lowe, he's I don't know what the best way it is to describe you, because I believe you do a lot of things. I mean, you just started the arena, but you've got like graphic design and you're like hosting events and stuff like that. But he's hosting another event here in Vancouver. Sorry, let me just refresh this. Okay, we got one more submission. He's hosting an event with my hero, Chris Do, who really taught me everything that gave me the confidence to be a full-time YouTuber. So I'm thankful that Josh has been organizing this stuff, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to meet both Josh and Chris and just have that experience where I get to learn in person and have that in-person interaction. I was able to join, send specific videos, correct? Yes. Josh Lowe says he's a live stream producer for design competitions. Yes. I got Tyler Hemmings, big fan of your work. Thank you. Welcome in. All right. That is it. That is the cutoff. I have rambled long enough. Haven't even started the stream yet, and my I feel like I'm gonna lose my voice. This is the most I've talked this week. What do I do here? Right, no more creating posts. Right? Yeah, okay. So we got a Vimeo link, perfect, and we got a LinkedIn post. I don't know if I can see this, to be honest. I might not be able to open this. Some LinkedIn posts are like, I think if I don't have an account or something, I might not be able to see it. So you may want to give me a different link. Just a heads up. But since I will be going from bottom to top, you will have plenty of time. Josh says, yes, please spread the word. Christo is running a full day sales day training. Sorry, I cannot read right now. Running a full day sales day training. If anyone wants to level up their cash game, please join. Yes. Usually I will not allow people to advertise on my stream, but this will be the exception because I 100% endorse this. If you are in the Vancouver area, please join this event. It will, I believe it'll change your life. But yeah, let's get started. I'm excited. Every time I start these, every time I do these reviews, I always am impressed with what kind of members are in my community, what creators there are out there, and the variety of genres of videos you guys create. Because like, I'm in my own bubble of making YouTube videos, and I used to make promo videos and stuff, and then like sometimes I see crazy videos that are like Spartans that like is super meta. Or what is it? A pickle taped to a wall? Some very memorable ones, and there are people who are doing Minecraft content as well. Josh also says, I also want to feature Herman as a speaking gig to share his amazing story. Anyone else here want to see Herman on stage? Yeah, we are in talks about that as well. I am not a public speaker, but I will make an exception. Krefla asked, was wondering what cameras you use. I use the A7S III. Umbrella says, hell yeah, of course we want to see Herman on stage. Oh, you want to see me like just shaking just, and today I'm that's going to be how I speak. So wait, is Spartan back? Because I don't know if I stalled too long or if I should just skip for now. All right, we'll start with the second one. I don't know, he said he has something to do. So we got Bofam 19. Does the VFX feel real? Is it vibes? That's a pretty direct feedback focus. Let's find out. And hopefully no faffing. No, like, let's make sure that everything plays properly. That's a crazy shot. That's also a crazy shot. Damn. Well, I think he killed it with the vibes. At first I thought like, was this like AI? Because I see a lot of, you know, AI generated videos that are obviously very like fantastical and doing very similar things, but I see a hashtag Blender. So I am assuming he did it through Blender. And if that's the case, I think the matching of the flowers growing and the lighting of the scene feels pretty believable. Like obviously we don't normally see flowers and grass grow that fast. So you do need to sort of suspend your, what's the expression? Suspend your disbelief. But I think for me, it looks quality. Like it looks great. Like I really like this as well. There's this infectious feeling, like, how would I say it? It's like the grass is growing in an infectious way and just expanding from the middle. This is a very pretty shot as well. The one where it's like that. And I think it's, I don't know if it's like the render setting for blenders, because I know there are different like renderers or something like that, where it looks a little grainy, I think, a little spotty in some of the shadows. And then it just vibes you listening to music. And I kind of like how it implies that this is how you feel when you're listening to the music just from your CD player. So short and sweet. I love the vibes of it. I think your feedback focus was like, if it feels real and it's vibes. I think you accomplished both, man. Nice job. Yeah, well, is there anything I would really focus on? I mean, I think it's just putting in the reps and trying to practice with different footage, doing more vibe pieces, doing more things that are short and sweet like this. There's something about this that I think feels like a gradual feather, like a fade, rather than it actually growing out from the desk. And I don't have an answer for that because I don't use 3D, but I will say there is something about the shot where I think it could be a little more believable, or at least feel like it's interacting with the surface in a more realistic manner. It could be the growth speed, it could be the length of the grass. I don't know what it is exactly, but if you guys have any thoughts in the chat, drop it in as well. Juicy asking if it's AI. Yeah, I mean, that was my first instinct, but apparently it's Blender. And I believe that it's Blender just because of the grain that's happening over here that I pointed out. Like, that's a very, for me, a telltale sign of it being 3D generated. We got toy. I'm terrible with names, but welcome to the stream. What's up, bro? You're a fan from TikTok. Oh, damn. I didn't realize that people discovered me from TikTok. But welcome in, welcome in. The feelings gave you that AI hit. Yeah, I don't know what it is that made me feel kind of like AI at first. Even if it's not. Maybe it's also the fact of like the scale of the flowers. We normally don't see flowers that micro and that small. And I think it gives that sense of surrealism that I like, but there were some areas that made it feel a bit like AI, which is like, not to throw shade on the quality of work, because I thought it was actually quite good. It's just, I think it's, I don't know if it's a style. Juicy says, I guess what separates us from AI is creativity only right now. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, honestly, like, even if it was AI, it didn't bother me or take me out from the vibe. We got Altry saying, hey Herman, I have a question. How do you plan and edit your videos with a good mindset? Making and edit videos is hard for me. Unfortunately, this is not an Ask Me Anything stream, so I can't answer that here. And it's also there would be a very long answer. I'm just focusing on the submissions today so we can get through all of them. But hopefully I will, I mean, the next YouTube video that I upload will somewhat answer that. So keep an eye out. All right, next one got from Declan. Saying, I would love to hear your feedback on pacing, color grading shots, and whatever you feel I need to comment on. Sweet. The purpose of the video was to build trust and reliability to his barber business. Excuse me. He's just starting off and doesn't have a lot of Instagram presence. I wanted something that builds him rapport. So pacing, color grading, just basically anything. Let's go back over here. That was a cool transition. Pretty smooth. We got some fun creative techniques as well, like that lock-on effect. Cool little smooth transition as well. Seems like you got a good eye for movement, I think. That's a cool shot too, from underneath. Nice little silhouette as well. Get to see the barber as well, doing his craft. Nice little variety of shots too. Gotta check his cut. And we end off with this long shot. Barber's just vibing. Nice. That's sweet. I think overall, like I said, you got a good sense of like camera movement, variety of shots. I think on that side of things, you're doing great. Few things though, just off the top of my head. I think the music for me was not really working. I think the reason is because it gives this, I promise to be blunt, I promise to be direct, so I will say it. It gives me a bit of a cheap feeling. And I think it's because I associate it with very like, if like, would you listen to this song for enjoyment along your playlist of like hip hop music or like orchestral hip hop? The answer is probably no. And that's what kind of gives away this, or sets the tone of this being like, it could be a different song. Because music establishes tone really fast, and that was the immediate thing. That's why I spent a lot of time looking for specific music, even if it's like hip hop and stuff. And even if it's not like the kind of music you would listen to, it's just like, this is kind of like an orchestral hip hop, right? With the strings and the percussions. But there are some richer sounding ones that will sound more quality, and maybe that just takes listening to a lot of them to really develop that ear for it, I guess. Because I don't think there's a very simple answer to like what's good music, what's not. And I think it's just not really fitting the tone of this. So I would revisit the music choice, number one. Number two is, I think that this video was too long. I think that it started getting quite repetitive. Like I kind of got the point in terms of the vibe of like the salon and also like what the barber does. There were some great angles and shots and creativity behind it, but I think it was just a little repetitive. Like I started seeing similar things, or like I wasn't getting enough new information, especially as someone who was just like, I don't know, when I watch the video, I don't need to see necessarily the entire process. And I know you're not showing the entire process, but like I think you should just highlight the best parts. Easily this video could have been half the length of this, and I think it would have been more effective. There are a few small things that I think just come from practice. But overall, I think, again, you have a good eye in terms of different angles, getting good, different, like good coverages of the action. And there's some smooth camera movement that's going on as well. It's not like some jittery handheld stuff that I've seen from some of these kind of like montage videos. So you're already heading the right direction. Last thing I want to point out is, if you're going to focus on the haircut, I think we've already seen that through like this stuff. It's just your last shot is going to be the last thing that viewers remember. And what I remember is this guy is just this stoic client who is seemingly indifferent about his cut now. And it's just like expressionless, like he's just stone cold. And I don't know if that's the impression you want to leave with your audience. This person who is indifferent about his cut. And that's what we're dragging. We're kind of like extending out. So just think about your ending a little bit. Otherwise, pretty good montage. We got Syruped in the chat saying talented community. Yeah, definitely. A lot of talented creators here. A lot of talented people who have submitted their work, including this one over here, Declan. Why am I so bad with names? That one music guy saying that he agrees with Juxi. Tyler says exactly what I was going to say. Great movement all around. I think the sound design, music selection, and creative look. This editor will be banking clients with these. Yeah, like your foundations are great. It's just some small things that can definitely bring it up a little bit, punch it up. Like the scene when it's just black and white. Yeah, that was a cool one. I think it was that. It's like the silhouette one. GC says I agree about the music part, and it's for me the hardest thing because of copyrights. Yeah, absolutely. It's hard finding quality songs that are royalty free. Sometimes I spend like a stupid amount of time finding the right music, and sometimes that's what it takes. In fact, I think one of the joys of editing is finding that music that it almost feels like the edit assembles itself when you find the music. Like you can already play it in your head. That's when it's just like, oh, it's really easy. There's like no friction. So I'm trying to even spend more time on finding music now, which feels a little counterintuitive because I'm trying to cut faster, but then realizing that I need to spend more time in certain areas so that I can actually make my videos more effective and make the process more enjoyable. But yeah, don't skimp out on your music. All right, moving on. We got Vitality. Saying the feedback focus is framing and pacing, maybe. Context: I'm about 6 months into building my videography business, Final Frame Media, and just finished my 2026 demo reel. It's a mix of clips from projects I've shot so far, including brand promos, music videos, weddings, etc. Looking for feedback on framing and pacing. Tough here since this is a demo reel, I guess. Yeah, I can see where the struggle can be, or the challenge rather. But open to anything that stands out. You're the hermit. Love that pun. P.S. The video is just over 3 minutes, like 8 seconds. Feel free to not watch the last 8 seconds. Don't worry, man. I will be forgivable here. I just didn't have time to shorten it down. I've been chasing two toddlers around. No worries. Let's check it out. But let me just catch up on chat before I watch this. We got Rin saying, catching my first Herman live. What is going on? Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. First time tuning in. We got Spartan back saying, hey, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. I had to do something important. No worries. We skipped yours for now, but we can go to yours after this one. Let's check it out. So they've been doing this for 6 months. Just a demo reel, a variety of their work. I like the vibe of it already in terms of the music. Those live events. Got some film burns in there. I think it matches the tone of the music. Kind of like the look of this outdoor elation that's happening as well around the highlights. Before I keep going, I feel like I saw the shot already, so be careful about repeating shots if they don't serve a purpose, especially in your reel where it needs to be snappy and you have to deliver your worth to your potential clients in a short amount of time. Like I could have sworn that was like one of the first shots over here. And then we also see this kind of like low angle through the trees, which was around where I stopped as well. Like the shot, right? We don't want to repeat. Yeah, this one, right? So it was not just my imagination. Cool little lens flare transition. So we're doing some live events, doing music videos. Looks like there's some sort of short film stuff happening in there as well. Great coverage for these live events and just showing like the attendance and the participants enjoying their time. I think The sound effect was kind of neat in terms of whooshing in, but the pulling out and then it being kind of like such an aggressive like shing took me out for a second. I think there's a repeat of that shot as well with like the electricity. Oh, we got cutting something open. Similar to the note that I gave in the previous video, the last thing that you want viewers to remember, the question is it this? Because what kind of message does that give and impression does that give to the viewer and your prospective client? So we need to be careful about how we end the tone of videos. If you want to be hired for more stuff like this, absolutely. But I assume it might not be. Overall, honestly, I think you did a good job in terms of highlighting what you do. I get a sense of like you do a variety of things as you described in your description. You do like live events, you do promo videos, let's say music videos. But I think the main issue I find is that it needs to be snappier. And I know that can be hard when you're also shooting the content that you cut because we get precious with our footage. I'm the same way. It's like, oh, I poured so much time into planning these shots, capturing them, and it takes a lot of effort to do it. So I want to show all of these moments, but sometimes it becomes a bit redundant and doesn't serve the purpose of the final video, in this case, a reel, where it needs to be snappy enough to convince potential clients to hire you. And they need to understand what they're hiring you for as well. And right now the impression is I can hire you for all these things, which is great. I think you do all these things well in terms of capturing these live moments, like live like events and stuff. And honestly, like I think the image quality of what you're doing is pretty good as well. Like it's really crisp, it's really clean. It's not like none of these are like disgustingly overexposed or like anything. Like your exposure and color is great. Like it's great for these. Like this looks really nice. But it's really the repetition for me. Like I see the same shots that don't give me enough variety. So it's like I start getting bored halfway through. And like if you just cut basically the same feedback as I gave in the last submission, if you cut this video down in half, I think it would be more effective and impressionable. Like you will immediately see the improvement, I think. And I think that the charm in this is that, especially because you're capturing a lot of like live things, like they're not like fictional narrative unless it's these b-roll from like this music video, is that it doesn't need a lot of effects. So I'm glad that you didn't go overboard, but there are some parts where it's like I think even Juicy pointed out that he doesn't like the transitions, and I kind of agree. Like some of the transitions didn't really need to be there. Some of them, like this one, I think it's fine to have some film burns here and there, but I personally was not a huge fan of this R1. And I can appreciate the effort in trying to apply these creative effects. I just don't think it's necessarily working for this reel. But yeah, let me know if you guys agree in the chat. These are just a few of my thoughts after going through it. Overall, I think it's solid. I think that, as I said, like the color and the exposure of it all feel like they're well done for these live moments. Like I feel like I'm in that scene. Like it looks professional, it looks crisp, and that's what you want to be hired for. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of being a little pickier about the shots that you're including, making sure that you're not repeating any of it. That's basically my main things. GC says that the message says to go to the doctor and get a checkup. I mean, I assume that's part of like, the B-roll for the music video. So it's like a narrative thing. But yeah, that's like, it's a different impression than what I assume you want to leave with the viewers. Spartan says, and maybe do some fast cuts on the beat and drums. I just think that might help. I think that would help as well. Just including some different pacing in certain spots, maybe when the music ramps up, so it's not always like the same pace. Otherwise, that's another way of getting reels to not feel as stale. The car scene felt a little different edit, that's why. Yeah, it does feel a little different from the rest, which shows that, you know, that you can do more than just these things. But I think ultimately we need to make sure that we are communicating clearly what we want to be hired for, because what you put in your reel is basically what, like, the clients have to be able to see what they want in your reel in order to hire you. So you just got to make sure that you're including the appropriate stuff. But yeah, thanks for submitting your work. Vitality, thank you guys so far. Declan, I'm not going to even say attempt to say your name, sorry. But yeah, thank you for submitting your work as well. And Bofam, thank you for submitting your work. And we got Spartan now, so let's go back to the first submission. Spartan. Rin says, I was wondering if you have done any MVs previously, Herman. Yeah, I'm trying to answer this correctly and also concisely. I have done music videos in the past. One of the biggest music videos I've done is called 6 Degrees. I shot and edited that one. You can check it out on YouTube. But let's finally go to Spartan's submissions, because Spartan's submission has left a strong impression of me last month. So I'm itching to see what they have submitted for this month. So Spartan says, I felt that there's something off. I don't know what it is. Anyway, check it out and tell me if you saw this intro. If you saw this intro somewhere else, would you like to watch the full video? Ah, I see. All right, let's check it out. I think I just recently watched a video of this guy. I think it talked about branding, but it was just interesting seeing his face again. Let's check it out. The audio is a little quiet compared to everything else I've been watching, just a heads up. And I don't think it's me.
It's the most common answer, or let's be honest, excuse that stops you from creating. And look, I get it. If you're genuinely logging in 50 to 60 hour weeks, you got family, kids, every waking hour is accounted for, you're not lazy, you're busy. You spend every waking moment productive and you still don't have time, that is a different problem. When I started medical school, there was this mandatory lecture on day one. Our assistant dean, Dr. G. Giovanni, she stood at the front of this classroom and she made one thing really clear. These next 4 years are going to be brutal. Like drinking from a
Turn on closed captions.
We didn't study a minimum 4 hours a day on top of going to 4 hours of lecture, we would fail. I believed her, so I let go of everything else. My side quests, my creative goals, my dreams of being a Coachella DJ, even more the smaller stages, you know? And for the next 2 years, I locked in, man. I studied until my mind was numb and my eyes were heavy. And then after exams, I'd let loose and go out with friends until my brain was numb and my eyes were heavy.
I think it was a solid intro for, especially for a podcast. It got my attention because of how snappy it is. And for the cold open where it goes through this motion graphic of like that, that's a really popular effect that I think was pretty well executed as well. I think that my main problem was the audio was too quiet. I think the dialogue was a little too quiet, especially in comparison to the sound effects. So that's just something to watch out for, just paying attention to your levels. But otherwise, I think it's nice and snappy. And it has a bunch of those like scale-ins and scale-outs that keep visual interest, which I think work really well for an intro of a podcast. So I think you've got a good sense of keeping visual interest. I like the large text as well behind him. It gives a sense of depth and also highlights the big words. So I like how that looks. It looks solid. And it's good that you are also including some, I guess, like stock footage to complement what he's saying, because it can get really stale if you are just sticking on a talking head. Now, a few things that I think would help is, number one, for the text itself, there is an inconsistency of font. I like this. This looks bold, simple, and clean. But I think in the beginning-ish, it's like this is a little bit thin, and then this is bolder, which makes sense when you are creating a hierarchy of your text. I don't know if this is the best way to describe it, but like it just makes the word busy look more important, right? But I think because I don't the rest of this isn't like thin like this. Like this was a different style in terms of like,
And look, I get it. If you're genuinely
I think it's just going back from like the regular font to like the bold or heavy font that throws me off a little bit. I would like a level of consistency. But maybe that's just me. Another small thing is like text placement. And I don't remember if this was something I mentioned to, I don't think it was your edit. I think it was someone else's submission from last month where there's not enough space around the text when it's in a shape. And then it feels like it's like this feeling of claustrophobia. Like it's just being squeezed into this thin graphic over here that makes it feel very tight. And I don't think that's the feeling we're going for. It seems like we're going for something that's smooth, sleek. And that wasn't really conveying it for me. But like this, although it's a different font than the rest of it, I kind of liked how it looked, which is why I pointed it out earlier. It just gives that sense of depth, and it gives a sense of importance to the words lazy and busy. But yeah, I don't know if it would feel better if it's the same consistent font as like this bolder one. But when we have too many different fonts and too many different weights, it starts getting a little messy. So it's something to watch out for. But otherwise, I think you have a good sense of pacing, the rhythm of things, when to put in stock footage, when to cut into B-roll. I don't know if that's something that you worked on as well and you had access to the footage of, but it's way better than just staying on this. So I think that your judgment in when to cut away from that is good. I do think the framing is a little off. Like there's not enough headroom over here, and maybe that just comes from being in more of a motion design background rather than cinematography and shooting things live. But like this also feels very tight. So I would give maybe a little more room so it doesn't feel as tight, especially if you're looking at when you're watching the video and the eye line is over here and then the next shot it's like over here. We want to keep it somewhat the same, somewhere similar. But yeah, those are just my thoughts while I'm watching it. But overall, as I said, I think you got a solid sense of rhythm and pacing and good eye in terms of how to make it snappy, especially for an intro. So yeah, thanks for submitting your work. Just gonna catch up on chat, scrolling up. Juicy says no, the audio. By the that wasn't the real teacher. I didn't find the real one. Like the camera zooms. I agree. I like the camera zooms as well. Rin says, I think maybe the watermark could have been smaller and a little more in the corner, or the logo. Yeah, it can be a little distracting. I understand why you put that there so people don't like steal your edit, but I haven't had to watermark my footage or my work before, so I don't really know what the best approach is for that. Christopher says, yeah, the text is good, but something throws me off by it a little bit. Solid overall, though. Yes, I agree. Trying things, dude. Happy Canada Day. Yeah. I forgot it's Canada Day tomorrow, huh? I think holidays don't really affect me, so I forget when they happen and when they pass. Which I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but he said, I heard fireworks are banned in VC, which is insane. Oh, is that? I don't even pay attention to like fireworks stuff. I remember it being banned, and I also still remember hearing them though. I think they just don't do like the big celebration of lights anymore, if I remember correctly. But I don't remember the last time I attended to one, so that's why I kind of passed by me. Rin says, talking of audio, follow any standard value for decibels in terms of like VO, music, sound effects, etc. For me, I have no real standards, but I think if you just Google it up and open up Reddit, there are some people who advise certain decibels for dialogue, music, and sound effects. And I think the hierarchy is like dialogue, maybe like -3, -6 or something like that. I think sound effects like -12 or something, and then music is like I think -18 or so. Just rough ballpark numbers. Benny says, editing is fucking hard, folks. So many things to learn. Absolutely. It is very hard. So props to all of you for submitting your work and letting me kind of, not necessarily like tear it apart, but, you know, takes a level of vulnerability to share the thing that you've been, I don't want to say slaving away at, but just putting a lot of your own effort in and just sharing it for people to watch and share stupid thoughts on, like me. Yeah, it's a tough field to get into. Aaron says, can you check share your work page recent drive link? I'm unfortunately just going over the submit for live review channel so that it allows me to fairly go over the work for people who are submitting it. Otherwise, if I open this page and go through it, man, it is endless. So I'm very thankful for my community and for members who are sharing feedback on each other's work in there. Having the stream allows me to do it in one go and really manage my effort and time. Let's move on. Oh my god, we still got so much more. I gotta pick up the pace. Otherwise, we're gonna be here all night, and I'm gonna be like a zombie trying to get through all of it. But we got Krav Creative. Their feedback focuses on storytelling. For context, the purpose of this was to convey the message of a person wanting to get to streamer university and also explain the extent to which he can go to achieve it. So this person wants to get to into a streamer university and also explain the extent to which he can go to achieve. Okay, I think I wrapped my head around what they're trying to say. Oh, I get this AI summary. That's great. Not what I needed.
Streamer University's here. This is it. This is.
Wait, so cinematic short movie. Okay, understood. I was like, so did they shoot this video or did they edit it together to convey that story? So I just had to wrap my head around that for a second.
Opportunity that we've been waiting for. But there's only one problem. How am I supposed to prove that we belong? What am I willing to do to make it there? See, some people would just fill out an application, but me, I would survive the wilderness if that's what it took. No comfort, no shortcuts, just one goal. Keep moving. If that path got blocked, I'd swim upriver. Cold water exhaustion, it does not matter.
I like the rawness.
I'm never turning around.
It gives us this level of authenticity. Just the grit of swimming up this river.
What, nigga? What the hell are you doing, man? Man, trying to get in the stream of you, nigga. That's on 3 feet. Nigga, you always fucking up the video, nigga. What the fuck? Nigga, now I'm in the fucking desert. There's no way. There's no way. I gotta be closer to Streamer University. What's that on top of the hill?
And when time starts running out and most people want to quit, that's when I keep climbing. Because every second is another chance to prove I want this more.
Yeah, man, that's what it takes. Is that a timer?
It's my time. It's my time to be
my time. While holding a timer.
Yes!
So when people ask me what I do to get into Streamer University, my answer is very simple. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Cool. I like the message. And like I said, I kind of like the level of authenticity that comes from the rawness of things. There's like a charm to just filming it. Like it looks like filming it on your phone and just having these, interesting angles where we're following almost like a real life event, it feels like. So, and I also think that I appreciate the creativity that's involved in some of these transitions, like the eye transition that Juicy is mentioning as well. But, as with all things, I think that we have to start somewhere. And I think that this is a great foundation because some of these transitions, like, they come with practice. But overall, I think that it gets me, how would I say it? It makes me feel like I want to root for them. And I think that's ultimately the message that like you would want to convey as well. It's just like, as long as you don't give up, you can kind of like, you can follow your dreams and make them come true. And I felt like that was conveyed through this short. So great on your part for doing that. I think the main thing that I have is mostly just, I think, putting in the reps. I think it's a practice thing. I can see that, there is a level of coherence in finding the right B-roll and visually conveying things that complement the script and also the message. But I think in terms of like sharpening the quality of the B-roll and stuff like that, just comes with practice. But then again, maybe you were going for something that was more raw and authentic. And in that case, I think you nailed it. And as I said, like, it's not a bad thing. I think there's a level of charm to that. But yeah, I'm curious to see what others are saying in the chat as well. So Nightcore saying if it was easy, we're not here to let Herman rest our work. Yes. Benny says, shout out to you for making this community this super valuable, getting feedback from an amazing video editor. I'm glad that you guys find it valuable. Spartan says, well, now I'll make sure that the next video will be so interesting. I mean, don't do it for interesting sake. Make sure that you're doing it for your own growth and fulfillment. Jesus says, I really want to do podcasts, but main language is Arabic and there's not a big community for podcasts. I mean, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a gap in the market for you to fill. Camera transitions with the sound effects kind of died. Yeah, I mean, I think if the goal is for it to be, again, like raw and authentic, I think you nailed it. If you're trying to improve like the quality of it, which, the feedback is storytelling. So I think in terms of story, it's good. I think that you wrapped it in a way where it's about a streamer trying to get into it or into the program and, conveying that level of like determination, then that's good. I think it's just a matter of, again, like putting in the reps, doing more of them. Our first few work is never going to look super polished and great, but I don't know if there's anything specific that'll just like bump you up there other than just to keep writing. I think it's really a practice thing. Syrup says, do you ever get migraines from long editing sessions / excessive screen time? Yeah, I think so. And I'm sitting on the, I think, FlexiSpot C7. Not Herman Miller, unfortunately. I cannot afford that yet. But yeah, moving on, because still got a lot more to get through. But Craft Creativity, thank you for submitting your work. As I said before, it takes a level of vulnerability to share the work, especially something that you put a lot of effort into. And yeah, just take what I say with a grain of salt, and hopefully it's, I know I can't give anything that's, as I said, going to immediately improve you and bring you to the next level. But as I said, I think it's a practice thing. And I think that in terms of the storytelling, like it's off to a great foundational start. We got Zaza, who has submitted a video, Spider-Verse crossover with Sony PSP promo ad. I remember them talking about this in the, I think it was the Edit With Me stream, or maybe it was in the channels. And I'm excited to see the results of that. And I remember them posting little previews and screenshots of it, and it's been looking sick. So can't wait to see the actual result now live on stream. So feedback focus is anything that I'd like to point out, honestly. Context is, hey Herman, hope you're doing well. This is a 3D spec ad I worked on this month. The primary focus of this ad was to promote Sony PSP in a Spider-Verse-like setting. I took the feedback from my last Nothing Spec ad, and I tried to make this commercial look cohesive to some extent in terms of world building. Excuse me. I worked on the visuals for this one for the course of 18 days sorry, I'm like losing where I was reading. While my friend handled all the sound design for the video. Oh, I think it's similar to last time. Looking forward to your thoughts on this. Sweet. I really like the Nothing ad that they submitted last month, so can't wait to see the quality of this one. Let's full screen this. Let's go back. Can I go back? Can't full screen and go back? Okay. Well, I guess I just have to zoom in like this. Damn. Guys, this was so sick. I don't have anything else to say. I thought it was awesome. I think there was definitely a bigger level of cohesiveness in terms of the visual and the vibe. I don't think anything really felt out of place except maybe the effect of like this portal thing, like this bleeding out thing. It didn't feel as graphic novel-y. I'm like trying to find the right adjective for it. I think the bleeding out feels like a different effect, but everything else, you freaking killed it, dude. Especially if you created like these assets from scratch, or like you blended them, or like you composited them together and like slapped them onto like a 3D environment and like 3D. Like, I don't even know how you do this. Like, it looks great. It looks like that. The quality that you would expect from the Spider-Verse movie, where there's like a blend of 3D, but there's like a 2D-ness to it, and it feels like it's straight out of a graphic novel, is crazy, dude. And like with the dotted texture, like the quality is great. And I love this as well, like the bass booming and like the scale in, scale out of the effect. And there are these like little lines as well that still feel like they're in the world of graphic novel. Also, I know you didn't work on the sound design, but the sound design was great. I also love like the little PlayStation sound that starts in the beginning of the ad as well. That one. And then, yeah, just the sound overall is really good. And this transition from the spray bottle to the PSP, and then and then it flips around and stuff. Like, oh my god, it looks so good. Like, I can imagine this being a legitimate PSP commercial where it's a collaboration with Spider-Verse. They've got a great eye of that classic PSP feeling where it's like showing a bunch of the games that are exclusively on the PSP. I remember playing GTA Chinatown Wars. But yeah, it definitely hits that sense of nostalgia. Dude, you killed it, man. This was amazing. Nice work. Syrup asking, how old are you, Herm? Well, I will tell you that my birthday was just 6 days ago, and I will let you guess. I will continue having it being a mystery, because the funny thing is, I remember googling up my name for something, and then the second search term was like Herman Huang age, and I thought that was hilarious. So I'm just gonna keep it a mystery, especially when people are like, "Oh, you've been editing for like 17 years, dude. You look 17." I hope I always look that young. Herman full screen issues, yes, typical for a stream, especially on Instagram. Like, I have not figured that out. Rin says, wow, I went huge on Instagram. Yeah, dude, 169.5 likes, not just views, but likes. That's crazy. You get a like from me too. Amazing job. Yeah, man, you are killing it. Holy trailer, man. Peak. Yeah, everyone's praising you in chat. Like, you killed it. You knocked it out of the park. Music choices in place. Great music choice as well. Already good sound design. Already good design for Instagram, something you'd watch on loop. Yeah, right? Like, it's snappy. You don't waste any time. Exactly what you should do with an ad. You try and convey that feeling as fast as you can. And it doesn't feel rushed either. Like, the world building and everything looks quality, dude. That one music guy says, this guy always makes the coolest stuff. Yeah. Such talented people in the community. It is insane. Rin says these kinds of edits give me imposter syndrome. Honestly, it gives me imposter syndrome. Love the dope cell shading vibe. Yeah. Knocked it out of the park for that. Jesus is happy birthday, man. Thank you. Trying to read this name. I think it's Adamong29. Hey bro, I'm stuck in idea block. That's a tough one. But I can relate, and that's why this community exists, to help kind of pull people out of that creative block. So if you're not a member already, please join. It's absolutely free. Russian Nikor saying I was being called uncle by high school. Dude, I got a crazy story that I don't know. I mean, it's not crazy, but I don't know if I can share it on stream. But someone called me uncle, and I didn't expect it to. I did not expect them to. Juicy says he looks 20, but I'm going to give you 23 max. I will take that as a compliment. I am much older than 23. Shinaikor says when I was in college. Ah, damn. Well, what can you do? You embrace the unk status. But yeah, Zaza, you killed it. Thank you for gracing our eyes and ears with that experience. Let your friend know that they killed it with the sound as well, because that was sick. All right, moving on. We got Luke, DriftCon promo. They provided a link. Feedback focus. Something about it feels a little off to me. Maybe it's a color grading, but I'm not really sure. If there's anything that stands out or any obvious improvements it could make, I'd love some constructive criticism. So just some general feedback that I will just spit out. Context, this is a promo I did for an energy drink and a drift racer. Sweet. I remember, was it Luke? I just remember seeing drip stuff before, and it was sick. All right, let's check it out. Wait, should I full screen this? I definitely should. All right, I restarted this for the third time. Third time's a charm, right? It's a cool intro. I love the energy already. That was a neat effect. Going through the rims of the tire. Oh, nice little sound effect moment there. Some cool angles as well. Yeah, I like the industrial music. That's a cool shot. Got a little rack focus to the energy drink as well. Ooh. That's a fun effect. A lot of cool angles in the shot. I like that one as well. Oh, we're nearing the end. Boom, with the logo. Sweet. Dude, solid job. I love the energy of it. I think you nailed it in terms of the pacing and the energy. Yeah, I like the vibe of it. I like the music choice as well. I think it fits really well with this whole drifting vibe. I think there's a good variety of shots as well, like that tiny world effect from the 360 camera. And also just like a mixture of close-ups, wide shots, wide angle lenses, telephoto lenses. It makes it for a more interesting viewing experience. I assume, oh wait. I think you're in the chat, right, Luke? Okay, I'm matching up your username in the chat, that one music guy. All right. So my thoughts are that, yeah, the things that I think are working basically is that I can see that you're trying a lot of different effects to create visual interest as well. Some of them are working, some of them are not for me personally. And I think that just comes from experimenting with what effects might look good to you. And trying, just like basically putting in the reps and trying to refine them over time. I think it's just a matter of practice for some of them. And then some, I think, like I really like the intro actually, with this like ominous kind of like guitar hit. And then visually it's this gritty feeling where it's like we see some specks that like become the texture of the ground, which is quite interesting. And then we see a lot of movement. But I think the number one thing that will instantly improve the quality of your B-roll is to shoot on a gimbal. And there's a caveat to this, because not every shot needs to be a gimbal shot. There is an over-exhaustion of everything being like this smooth, glidey B-roll stuff. But I think that a lot of these close-ups that are happening, like even just the beginning, like the close-ups, like there's some jitteriness that's happening that does not look quality. And I think having a stable shot will help with that. So some of the shots that don't require that gimbal shot is action shots of the drifting, because then it gives that level of like, oh, I'm there with the car and I'm shaking with it. And I think that works. And having these interesting angles like out of the car as well work quite like are solid. We've got these slow motion shots and stuff like that. Like when we're in the car, when we're watching the car drive fast, this gives intensity, right? But when we have shots like this where they're just going into, I guess, like the racetrack, like that could have been a gimbal shot, I feel, and you can just like follow the car. So it's just some like cinematography / videography stuff. And shots like this where it's like, especially when you're speed ramping, when you speed ramp this, it starts looking even more chaotic in a way where it's not appropriate to do so, I think. But overall, good variety of shots. I also think maybe this is like, maybe I should have a button on my macro pad, on my new macro pad, that says, I think this video would have been more effective and more memorable if it was shorter. And it's not the answer to everything, but I do think there was a bit of repeat happening. Like this shot with the energy drink can in the foreground, and then racing in the background. Like I think I saw it later on over here as well. Like it's a different environment, but this is not like a quality shot to me. I don't think this was properly framed, and I understand how tough it is to frame something in the foreground and also have something interesting happening in the background. It's just like when it's supposed to be displaying the product in a, how to say it, like more polished and professional light, and we're trying to make this product look good on camera, I would focus on making sure the can looks good. And then the drifting, I don't want to say secondary, but it is there to build on the atmosphere. So I would rather make sure that I frame the can correctly as opposed to off to the left over here. So most of my gripe comes from really framing and camera movement. Otherwise, solid job. I enjoyed this. I think the energy is great. It gets me hyped and makes me want to go to DriftCon, which is ultimately, I think, the goal of this type of promo video. Man, I've only been streaming for like an hour and a half, and I'm like slowly losing my voice. And I don't think I'm even halfway. Oh, guys, I'm in trouble. I need to find a solution to, so for you guys in chat right now, what do you think? I would love to get through everyone's submissions, but I know that as this community grows and more people are tuning in, submitting their work, it's going to be a longer list, and I don't know if I can get through all of it. My buddy Thomas, also our moderator, and the person holding together my lessons by editing them as well, has suggested, I believe, to actually, was it his suggestion or maybe it was Nick who was in the chat earlier? Don't know if he's still here, but I just remember being suggested a wheel, like a roulette type of thing. And I only review like maybe 10 or 12 submissions, and I put everyone's name on it. So that kind of like makes sure that I can go through an adequate amount of videos. Because I don't know if I can do like a 3-hour stream, for example. But let me just scroll up a little bit and catch up with what you guys are saying in chat. Adam says, how do I find sound effects or music type? I don't know what type of music when I watch movie or some edit. That one's not a simple answer, so unfortunately I can't answer that this stream. That one music guy says, yeah, it's me. I think the color grading might be better. Color grading, I think, I agree, there could be some improvement. But because there's a lack of like a grade, it does feel like it's more of like a live event. There's a level of like, I'm there in the moment, seeing it as it is to it when it's not graded too heavily. So I think it depends on what kind of tone you're trying to convey. Juicy says the only thing that hurts his eyes is the camera effect. Yeah, I think that's like the 3D, sorry, not the 3D, like the 360 globe effect. Which, yeah, could, I think that it lacks impact the more that you show it. So I think it's one of those effects that are so stylized. You just have to be selective about when to place it. Luke says, totally agree, looking into getting a gimbal. Nice. Yeah, I really think that's the next level up. Quick and easier fix. Rin says, I was expecting a match cut with the tires and drift with a bird's eye view. Would have been a good idea. Adam says, bro, can you make a video about color grading, or can you recommend for color grading? I recommend Jack Crawford's color grading. Was this? Yeah, I recommend his color grading course, just to keep the answer simple and clean. Luke says, you're right, the speed ramping amplifies the jittery, and I see the repeating, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for all the feedback, bro. No problem. Yeah, I mean, overall solid video, so nice job, and thank you for submitting your work. GC says, you can also make the submit for 24 hours only, or maximum number, like slot. Oh, that could be, that you might be onto something. I think that if I just make it 24 hours only, or I just review like the first 12 or something like that, so that there's a sense of, I don't want to say there's like a sense of urgency, but like it keeps it fair for everyone. For anyone that's like really serious about getting their work reviewed live on stream, then I think they're willing to make the commitment to put their submission in. Sorry, my cat just broke into my office. I think he's just wondering why I've closed the door and created separation between him and I. Yeah, great job. Let's move on to the next one. We got Ghost saying, hey Herman, so I edited this video and would like you to rate this out of 10 in the areas where I can improve this. And for a 10-minute edit of this style, how much should I ideally charge without getting underpaid? Be brutal about my editing. So unfortunately, this stream will not be about how much you should charge and stuff like that, because I think that's an entirely different ballpark that has no simple answer. And I do know it is a pain point for editors who are trying to price their work, but a lot of people have commented about charging their work and just being like, oh, how much should I charge for this or that? I will always give the exact same answer, which is to look up The Future, look up Chris Do and his videos about pricing. Actually, as I said in the beginning of the stream when Josh was over here, Josh Lowe, who was hosting the event with Chris, yeah, I learned everything about pricing through Chris's online videos. They're absolutely free on YouTube. So I would check that out because there's really no simple and clean answer for that. But talking about the edit itself, I can definitely do that. Just to refresh myself, you want me to rate this out of 10? I don't think I should, if I'm being honest, because I think a rating system is not fair and it's much more nuanced, especially when I am going to focusing on one thing that I think is working and one thing that could require more attention. But overall, as I said, I will just kind of ramble as I watch it.
And the first
and sorry, you said something about improve this, and for a 10-minute edit of the style, how much should I charge? Oh, I see. Okay, so that's a different question that I will not get into, but I will try to be brutal about your editing. Spartan says, yeah, you will see people fighting with swords there. Submit their work. I don't know, is it worth crossing swords for that?
And the first reason why your cycle stopped working is your androgen receptors are burnt out. The same dose goes in, but the body just says, is that it? And the fix for this is simple. Let them reset and then go again. Thank you, Arnie, because genuinely, this receptor burnout nonsense has been recycled by meathead trainers for decades. Newsflash, Einstein, receptors don't burn out, they grow, which means the real reason is something else entirely. And there are 3 specific thieves that have been stealing your first cycle gains from right under your nose. And your clinic? They missed all 3 of them. And this is the first one. Pregnenolone, your body's master hormone, and it's literally what testosterone is made from. And when you inject that testosterone, your body goes, we've got enough, we're shutting down production. And when it was full, you had that drive. Brain was sharp, mood was solid, and you just wanted to do things.
Dude, I think that your sense of rhythm and pacing and when to cut things, like cut away to B-roll and stuff like that, is solid. I think that this really scratches that new era of short attention span, TikTok-esque pacing. So it kept me engaged. And I think it's working in that sense. I think that kind of stuff is pretty hard to really get a hold of and get a grasp of when you're first starting out as an editor. And clearly you have experience because you can identify when's a good time to cut away and what to cut away to. So I think you're doing great on that side of things. There are some small nitpicky things that I think took me out very slightly that could instantly help in terms of improving the quality of the work. Number 1 is the clicky sound, with the camera shutter thing, is panned to my left ear. So that's a little bit distracting. Just make sure that you are filling the right side as well, especially if you want it to seem like the sound is coming from the front rather than just the left side, because visually it's not just happening on the left side. Second thing is that in North America, people read from left to right. So when I'm seeing text and stuff like that on the right, it's okay, but it's like I'm reading boop, 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 and then boop, which is not my normal line of sight. So you just got to make sure that you know who your audience is and what their reading habits are, because this is less intuitive than most reading material. And another thing is, I think that when these messages came up,
Specific theme.
it's great that it motivated this kind of like scale in thing, but I would have expected the talking head to scale in sooner so that it gives some negative space for these messages to pop up. And a very small nitpicky thing is I think the framing of this with this could be adjusted a little bit so that everything moves over to the left very slightly, because there's a lot of negative space here and not a lot of space for the text over here. So these are like the small attention to detail that show that level of care that you are actually paying attention to the details, because the devil's in the details when it comes to actually having your videos feel like quality. The last thing I want to leave you with is I think the AI videos are complementing
Again, thank
what he's saying. Personally, I don't want to like, how would I say it? I don't want to be prejudiced about a video, but like as soon as I see AI stuff, and I know that like, you know, you're using free Gemini, which is why there's a watermark over here, but like when I know it's an AI video and it feels like it has this smooth, smudgy quality to it, I immediately think that there's a level of laziness to the video. And like I just made a video about like using AI as a filmmaker. So maybe it's contradicting like my stance, but like I'm not saying it's wrong to say AI. It's just like when it feels like a lot of it is AI doing the heavy lifting, then it gives you this connotation that like, oh, it's, I don't want to say it's slop, but because there's a genuine amount of effort that went behind this edit and it still feels quality. It's just like it brings it down just a notch for me. But like
newsflash on.
It's interesting, and I kind of liked how there was like this gold and black colors, like desaturated color scheme, and it fits with the talking head over here where it's warm and desaturated with like blacks and earthy sort of like tone in the background as well. But like, there's something about that I'm not saying like you shouldn't use them anymore, but like you just have to keep this in mind if you continue to use AI generated content to cut into B-roll, especially like stuff like this, right? That's when you can tell it's AI generated with like the HUD and it's like just gibberish and smudgy. It gives an impression to the viewers. But overall, as I said, I think the pacing is good. I think your sense of rhythm of cutting to whatever cutaway, you've got a great sense of that. So you've got your foundation like set quite well. Yeah, thank you for sharing your work, Ghost. Nightcore says, wait, how to make the text change color when he / character go to that area? I'm assuming you're talking about was it around here that it happens to, like this kind of effect?
This is Duani. Thank.
Wait, I just skipped it.
Let them reset. Let them reset.
If you're talking about this, which is what I'm interpreting your comment, I think it's an overlay effect or difference. It's just playing with your blending modes. Spartan says, Herman, I think this video is his first video. If that's the situation, he did very... Is this first video? So I did this video and would like to rate it out of 10. Blah, blah. If it's... Okay. Let me read the rest of your comment. Herman, I think the video is his first video. If that's the situation, he did very good. He just need to watch more videos about sound design and more tutorials about UI animation. Honestly, if this is your first video, you killed it. I'm going in with the expectation that this is not your first video, because I think that you have a solid foundation, as I said, with pacing and cutaways. So, which is like hard to train unless you watch a lot of these type of videos. So if it is your first video, dude, you are going to be better than me, better than anyone in this community in a very short amount of time, if this is the rate of your growth. So Adam says, hey bro, I'm a video editor with a Mac setup looking to assist you on projects for free / mentorship just to learn from you. Money's pretty work and I send my portfolio. I am unfortunately not doing any free mentorship related stuff, but you can email me for any work related stuff, business related stuff. And my email is on my YouTube channel. But here is not where I answer that, unfortunately. All right, let's move on. We got Juicy. Juicy has been here since 6 a.m., I believe. Waiting, watching. And here we will be going over an old edit that they have made for Valerant. Just want to hear your opinion to improve my editing skills. Check it out. Ooh, sick match cut. Cool edit. Nice. I really like the creativity behind the match cut over here. With your raw hand, and then boom, it matches to the in-game animation. I am a sucker for those type of transitions. I think that was solid. And then the rest is just like, if I watch shooter games and I watch Valorant, I think I would connect with this more. But from the footage I see, I think it was a good kind of compilation of like kills, headshots, and there was also this kind of like hands coming in from a different shot as well. That was kind of cool as well, with like this montage of like a bunch of different maps and locations. So I think a lot of the creative ideas are working well for me. The one thing that I'm not a huge fan of is I think the music is peaking. It is peaking a lot. It is crushing the music, and it's really difficult to listen to. It seems like it's a sound that was added in YouTube Shorts, question mark? If that's the case, maybe it's just part of the, the music that was uploaded, but it was kind of taking me out a little bit. But visually speaking, I think that this is, how to say it, a good display of the creativity behind using in-game footage and just putting a creative spin on it. And as I said, some great moments here. Like the first little bit, little effect over here. Great stuff. GC says this was my first edit. It's too old. I mean, for something that was old, I think there's definitely a lot of there's good merit in it. Some good moments in there. Used it because it was trendy, of course, which is why we use music on social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube. We just want to use trendy stuff and be able to create stuff with it. It was because we're strange things edit. Nice. But yeah, sweet. Always great seeing the work that you share. We got Docket 99 saying revive these please. I'm not sure what that means. Spartan says, I think to reach mid-level of editing doesn't take that much time. I am in this field just 8 months ago, and I'm still thinking I am under the mid-level of editing. Yeah, it's hard to what's it called? Get out of that feeling of like, how would I say, like middle quality, or like feeling like you're just like touching on foundational things and just like getting into the next step. But it can be tough. I don't think there's a really simple answer other than to just keep going and to keep applying things that you'll learn right away. Docket, I still do not understand what that means. Revive these, please. If anyone else in chat understands what they're saying, please let me know. Review these, please. So I do have, oh no, the button doesn't work. But basically I'm only reviewing work that has been submitted in this channel in my community called Submit for Live Review. The community is called Frame by Frame, and how you join and all the information is down below. But unfortunately, I'm not reviewing any more submissions because I have closed it. And any more information for that is in the description of the stream. So Rin says, I think growth also depends on the kind of projects you work on. End-to-end projects have helped me a lot in that aspect. Totally. Yeah, I think it depends on the kind of video that you do. Because if you're always working on videos that you're comfortable in or like do not really push you, then of course you can't really grow like that. But yeah, let's move on to Andre's video. So the duration is 1 minute. Thanks for watching. Okay, sweet. Andre. So for context, Andre is a director and producer of 8+ years of experience in indie movies and advertising. Recently consolidated my kit and started doing smaller scale works, solo/compact teams. It is a work in progress for my commercial spearhead this year. She's a renowned artist and jewelry maker, currently working on a second shoot day in which we'll cover a conversation/interview with one of her colleagues and friend over a table of final pieces, test pieces, and materials. Also, the finished pieces being used. I still don't envision this 100%. Next week, I'll have a discovery meeting in which I'll get all the info to nail pre-pro. Okay, I think I understand. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. Feedback focus, seeing the project for what it is, a work in progress, and direction/production advice for nailing it on the second shoot day, having it be a successful bread maker. I might work with a model for the pieces in use or with the artist and her colleague, depends on them. I don't know if the pieces in use part will be more down to earth, candid use, ethereal edits, or anything in between. I'd love some advice on that, as I believe she's going to be flexible if I pitch well, which I will. Consider this my presentation when working with little to mid-sized commercial clients. Okay. Whew, I'm going to try and wrap my head around that. So it seems like there's a work in progress commercial that you've done. And then there's a second shoot day that you're going to be basically just shoring up this work in progress. And you're still kind of in the pre-pro process for that. So you just want some direction and production advice for nailing that second shoot day. All right. I'm going to try and be in that mind space or mindset, that headspace while I watch your video. Hold on. Before we get into it, Douglas says it'll hardly take 2 minutes, but it means a lot. Sorry, I just got to keep it fair for everyone. Everyone has followed the rules to be able to submit their work, and there's quite a few work, so I want to make sure that I'm giving the same attention to everyone who is following the rules. Otherwise, I can't just review everyone who just drops in really quickly. So hopefully you understand. Let's get into this. Is there no sound, or is it just me? I mean, it's a work in progress, so maybe there's no sound yet. But right off the bat, I really like the quality of the B-roll. The lighting is great too. Oh, there is sound. Video 1 minute, text 10 minutes. It's important to get some context as well. Got some practical sounds. Sounding, the sanding process. It's a nice variety of shots so far. And I really like the quality of the camera and the color grade as well. Gives this kind of like warm, nostalgic feeling. Sweet. Even as a work in progress, I think this is looking really good. It has that like, it has this, I don't know how to describe it. Like I guess the way that I worded it earlier, which is like a warm, nostalgic sort of indie vibe to the color grade that makes it feel kind of like this filmic's, dare I say, cinematic quality that's looking really nice. It gives this cozy feeling like we are, I don't want to say it's like we're in the room with them, because I feel like videos and films that look polished and give this sense of warmness, I guess, and this like filmic quality creates a level of separation between the viewers and what's happening on the screen. I don't know if this makes any sense, but like, for example, when I watch a Gox art video, because he has such cinematic B-roll, it creates a layer of separation between me and him. Like, it doesn't feel like we're in the same world. Like, it feels like he lives in a movie. And that's kind of the vibe that I get here. Although this is a real event that is featuring this artist, I think that the B-roll, because it looks polished and like the lighting over here like looks really nice, especially to showcase like is this considered jewelry? Like the sculpture, like this kind of like material, it makes it look like art, like art pieces. So it makes me feel like, oh, I'm watching like a film rather than like this is like a live documented event. So I think that is what you're going for, and I think you're nailing it. Just to try and remember what it is that you're looking for. It's just like anything that you can take on, you can take on the second day of shoot. Sorry, just to kind of like refresh myself in terms of the last little bit. I don't know if the pieces in use part will be more down to earth, candid, ethereal, and everything. I'd love some advice on that. I think it just really depends on the goal of it. Like, what is it that you're trying to convey with this artist? Like, are they creating more ethereal pieces and structures, kind of like this, like very artsy and abstract? I think that visually you can also continue how to say it, continue emphasizing that theme of abstractness and creativity and flow by having more abstract shots, because I think there's already a good amount of coverage of like these live moments of her actually in her craft, like crafting these pieces. But if we saw like more shots that were like, I don't know, I try and find it. It was like that ink one. Forgot when it happens, but it looked like some sort of like ink dyeing process, like this ish. I don't know if this is the right B-roll because it looks a little bit bloody, if I'm being honest, without any context. But like stuff that you need another second or two to really interpret it. I think that sort of like artsy B-roll can enhance that feeling of like, oh, she's creating art. She's creating these abstract sculptures, because we do see a lot of craft happening right now. And we understand like there's a lot of attention to detail and a lot of effort and a lot of like, for the sake of not having a better expression, but like just a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into this craftsmanship. So I think that if we have B-roll to just like, as I said, enhance the art side of things, the abstractness, maybe that could kind of, I guess like emphasize the creative thinking and the creativity behind this artist. But that's just my thoughts. I don't really know. I'm not in that meeting as well. I don't know what their goals are and if that's something they'd be happy with, but those are my thoughts after watching this work in progress. But overall, I think this is a solid start. I think it looks great. So nice work, Andre. Thank you for submitting your work. Lucy says grandma is doing candy. It does look like she's kind of like making candy with like the crafting part of things. Spartan says, yeah, he's using Rockstar style where they give you just a few seconds from the game and keep you so excited for the rest of the video. I mean, come on, now I really want to watch the rest, right? Absolutely. Yeah, it makes me want to see the rest. Like it's looking good, especially those first few shots. Like, man, they look quality. We got Sun. Sun is always sharing quality work, an AMV editor that always knocks it out of the park. They have shared quite a few videos in the Share Your Work channel, and each time it feels like each AMV is like better and better, which is insane, and the level of quality always just never ceases to impress me. So it's always a treat watching his stuff, and it's nice to see that he has submitted once again to this month's submit your live review, this work review stream. That's what I'm trying to get at. So the feedback focus that he's going for is emotional clarity, storytelling, overlay usage, audio. Context my bigger uploads this week. Herman had already seen in development, not to mention they were a tad long, for showcase. But this one is a little less my usual style and was drive by being inspired by a YVR guitar artist who is blowing up on YouTube recently. Oh, capturing the melancholy vibes of the song was my goal, but it was made for a passion and fun, and it was done in a single evening 5-hour session. So for 5-hour edits, we will be watching Under That Lens. This does sound like it's a little bit different from the usual work that I see from him, so it'll be interesting to see where he takes it. Let's check it out. Mostly trying to pay attention to emotional clarity, storytelling, and overlay usage. I mean, I'll just kind of say things as we watch it, but want to make sure that I keep things concise. Opening up, it's like we're watching a movie.
Hiya. Tight fit. It's really coming down out there. I'm soaked.
Oh my god, I watched this movie subbed, so it's kind of weird listening to it in English. I like the vibe of it already. As it's like, I don't want to spoil it, but I was gonna say, like, you know, those romantic
And you?
sequences
Flower boy.
where something bad happens and we're just remembering all the fond memories we had while they're still around.
Look, I know I shouldn't still like you, but I do. I guess that's one of the downsides of having a heart.
I think some great
What we had was a lie. Some of it was
B-roll choices so far.
swimming lesson.
Oh, we're just gonna spoil it anyways, so. Sorry guys, should have said spoiler alert. Circle, nice. That's why I don't love guys. Yeah, fair warning, just don't love anyone. Sun, I think you did a great job. I think there were some, I think the selection of B-roll was solid in the sense of conveying the feeling of like, oh, these were such great moments, all for it to end. And even, I assume, I mean, I've watched the movie, but like for people who has not watched the movie, like this just as a standalone already like can hit people in the feels, I think, because you understand this person dies. So it's like, oh, we remember all the fond memories while they're still alive. Man, I just love being alive. If only I could live longer. And then boom. And I think what I love the most from this video is this transition from watching this in a theater with like the curtains and it looks like it's being projected on a silver screen, and then it fades away into reality. It's like, oh, we watched all these moments, but actually in reality they're dead. So it makes it feel like, oh, it's a sobering moment that happens, and I think that was conveyed very well. The only thing I can really pick out that might help is the overlay itself for this. I actually like that there are curtains and it looks like we're watching a movie, hence the overlay of like the film textures and this graphic. But I think the choice of the graphic of the curtain, it looks kind of like 3D rendered from the smoothness of it. I would have preferred if it was like the same animation style as this movie. So it's like a 2D sort of like line art type of thing. So there's no clash of like two different mediums when it doesn't call for it. So I think that's the only thing, just looking up like different overlay. That's really it. I think it did its job really well. I don't know if you guys agree with me in chat, but let me know if you feel the same way, because I think you knocked it out of the park. That was great. Definitely different from the stuff that I usually do, but still a really enjoyable viewing experience. Juicy says stay single. Rin says, I'm very used to and bored of flashy effect dumped AMV edits, but this was so clean. Yeah, exactly. I think what's impressive is just like there is a usual format you expect from AMVs, and like they can be really impressive and really exciting and fun to watch. But for anyone that's willing to take things differently outside of that, I don't want to say template because it really discredits the amount of effort that goes into those flashy edits. But it just makes you feel like, oh, you can do that. So it's very like inspiring and lets you experience a different emotion than you normally would when you watch these types of videos. Juicy likes the feeling edit. Spartan says, yeah, the same thing happened to me once I left my keyboard. One day I woke up and it didn't work anymore. Damn. Hope it wasn't like laying in a pool of blood like this with your keyboard. Man, what an image that would be. But yeah, thanks for sharing your work, son. Always a treat watching your stuff. Moving on. Got Shin. I believe this is the Shin Nightcore. I'm assuming it was you in chat. My voice. I'm losing my voice. But Shin says, hi, Herman, this is my newest edit. It was for the HSR contest. HSR, I believe, is Honka Star Rail. Did a lot of sound effects experiment and test some color changing transitions, keyframe to color. I wanted to hear opinion from your side about it so I can know what I'm still lacking. Other parts such as pacing, storytelling, emotion, etc. If you have any advice, I'm happy to hear. Thanks in advance. Sweet. So it'll be a YouTube link. Color meaning video. Green equals video. Oh, I see. So it's just talking about the layers in the timeline, I'm assuming. Red, 2 black bars, I use handled videos. Oh, okay, cool. So that's just a little bit of context in terms of the timeline. But overall, I'm going to be looking for just some opinions on general things like pacing, storytelling. Yeah, let's check it out. Smooth Criminal. Rin says, I will wait for a Herman One Piece edit. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be doing a One Piece edit anytime soon. I'm not. I have not even watched One Piece, so I gotta start there. Partner has started watching One Piece. I commend her for starting such a quest. Juicy says, let's go, Herman, do One Piece edit. Make sure to watch the 2000 episodes. Exactly. Oh, that reminds me, I remember seeing a scene, like a fight scene in One Piece, and I'd never even watched the anime, and they did like a re-sound design of it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty crazy. Anyways, let's get into this submission. That was a fun graphic transition. That was a cool transition too. Damn. Hold up a second. My brain is getting fried. There were a lot of smooth transitions, which is very appropriate for Smooth Criminal. Like a lot of them, it's very similar to when I'm watching Sun's AMVs, where it's just like the scenes, like the footage selection. I believe the term is source farming. Just like finding the moments that match like the same action. It's just like, I cannot imagine the grueling amount of effort it took to like organize all of it, find the right moments, match it up so it seems like it's part of the same. It seems like it was intentionally made that way, but they made these creative decisions to have it flow so seamlessly. So it's crazy. Off to a great start. Damn. Ooh, that was nice. Yeah, killing it in the visual side of things.
I decide
These transitions are clean. It's kind of cool how to cut to the piano playing that part.
Deal in a glance.
Witness.
Dragons, tear the sky.
Damn. A lot of great impact moments on those hits of the music.
Dragons.
Nice little cross cut, kind of flash cut montage. Ooh. Some sounds and impacts that are matching the beats of the music as well. Always really satisfying when stuff like that happens.
Good night.
Nice. That was a fun edit. Damn. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. There's a lot of care put into a lot of these transitions and sound effects as well. I think it's flowing really well, as I've commented throughout the video. It makes it a really enjoyable viewing experience. I think there's like a flatness that's happening to the sound. Maybe it's from the screen record of like your timeline, but it sounds like distant. Like it sounds like it's not the full richness of what the sound should be like. So it's hard to really make comments on the sound part without hearing its full depth of it. But I think the only thing I would kind of pay attention to is the sound design. I think that there are a lot of good intentional sound choices that are matching the visuals, but there are some where it's just like, I feel like the sound could either be layered more, or it could be switching to a different sound effect to better match the visuals, because I feel like you've nailed the visuals. Like the flow and the pacing of it is amazing. Keep up that that skill. But I'm trying to look for that moment where it's just like, I think there was like a sword shing or something like that. Like there's some good moments, like the stab and then tearing. Like I really feel that guttural, like the squishy sound effect that happens. But I think it was like, where is it? Small things like when it's like underwater like this, like I feel like there needs to be a consistency of there being sound design throughout the whole video if we're going to do it in some spots anyways, because now we expect the sound to be consistent whenever we see something visually, like sound to complement it. So for example, like this, where she's like underwater and stuff like that, maybe there's like a bubbling, like boop, 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 boop. Like it sounds like we're drowning, sort of, that kind of sound. Same for that. Maybe there's like because there's a VHS overlay, like maybe there's like a VHS sound, like a cassette tape sound type of thing that could be happening as well. And like a disintegration kind of sound to match like the particles disintegrating, or like a whoosh over here, because that feels like a big camera movement. Not intentional because we're on a camera and there's camera movement, but like a just some sort of sound to really enhance that feeling of like we're transitioning into another scene. So I think it's just a lack of sound in certain places. Otherwise, I can tell that you are putting in the effort to put in sounds that are diegetic, I suppose, like sounds that you can see that you would expect in the scene. Great moments like this as well, like you're paying attention to, like hitting those impact moments of the sounds with the music. It's just like, I think it needs more sounds in more places is the main thing. Personally, I appreciate the creativity of changing the music from the original track to the piano one. But I think because the piano track is in a different key from the original, it sort of threw me off. It's more like I connected it together after it was done. I'm like, oh yeah, that's part of the song. So I think it's like small details like that that will smoothen things out rather than take me out from the experience. And then it's just like all those pop-ups could be kind of like glitchy pop-up effects. Like the main thing is I think it just needs to be a consistent amount of sound throughout the entire video, because you clearly have a good sense of like when the sound should be happening in some of these important moments and what the sounds should be. But yeah, I think those are my general thoughts after watching it. Otherwise, I think it's solid. You're killing it in terms of the visuals and the transitions, the flow, the pacing, and stuff like that. And the selections of the shots are great as well. So this is really good. Solid submission. Ren is asking if there's Resolve or Final Cut. I can't even tell actually. I don't cut and Resolve, so I'm not sure. Shinai says, yeah, because the laptop lag when I screen record. I see. Oh, Filmora. Okay. Well, I got really advanced. Yeah, Filmora. I remember that being like one of those free programs like CapCut. Juicy says you prove that editing app doesn't matter. Yeah, totally. Like, if you did all this in Filmora and not like in After Effects and stuff, then that's kind of insane. Spartan says, and apply low pass filter for music when it's underwater. Yes, that's another little detail of sound design that will continue to create a sense of immersion while you're watching this video. Llama fan says, this timing is so right for this live. Glad you think so. Islam says, self-taught editing is so frustrating without a clear path. Where can I find a more structured, systematic way to learn and get practice footage? And how do I figure out my exact direction in editing? I hate promoting stuff, but honestly, I think that's kind of the purpose of my online community and the paid side of my Discord, which you have access to through Patreon. I literally created it so that instead of creators and editors guessing on what to do, I provide lessons that break down my creative thinking and specific techniques I've used throughout my career. So that, and it's a system that encourages you to apply it right away so you can actually see some growth as opposed to hoarding educational content. So shameless plug, I guess. Otherwise, YouTube tutorials, that's how I teach myself as well. But I try to make sure it's a curated experience, and whether it's my, like, how would I say, whether it's my community or not, like, I think that getting courses from creators that are creating the work that you want to get up to is the shortcut. Like, I became less afraid to buy courses now because I know that what I get out of it will return its investment, if that makes sense. And there's a lot of paid and free resources online now for editing as opposed to when I first started out. Virtue YouTube, welcome in, says Discord link is invalid. Some people have trouble with the Discord link, which is kind of strange because I make sure that it is a link that, where is it? Invite to server. I make sure it's a link that like, it's like what never expires, and like it's always the same link that I put in. So I don't know, unfortunately. I could paste a new one in here. Like I can just create, let's create a new link that I can just put in. I am blind right now. Okay, server. Okay, this one expires in 30 days. So I'm just going to put in here, assuming that you will join sooner than 30 days. Spartan says, hey Herman, I need a website where I can find raw footage to apply color grading in it. Is there anything like that? I just recommend some stock footage websites, like maybe Artlist. I don't know if there are any other better ones now for cinematic footage that are in log or raw, for you to call it grade. Shinai Kora says, don't really know what I'm doing, just finding clips that flow in some way, then attach them together. To be honest, if that is what you're doing, you are killing it. If you don't know what you're doing and you're still creating something as, you know, insanely visual and like flowy as what you have just shared with us, then you are well on your way in terms of killing it in any future AFVs that you do. So hopefully you take some sort of prize from the Honkai Star Rail contest or some sort of honorable mention, because it definitely deserves spotlight. But yeah, thanks for sharing your work. I'm glad that you're able to be here while I review it too. But yeah, let's move on. You know, how many submissions have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 submissions. Oh man, I might take that advice of setting a time limit and just capping it, because we're on our 12th submission and my voice is like raspy and dry and it's tough. But I will get through it, don't worry. It's just for the future. I'm thinking maybe I should set some sort of time limit, maybe a 24-hour window. But we got JPK. JPK is a hidden gem member in our community because they joined our first community challenge. So I'm excited to see what they've been up to. Hi Herman, this is a video I'm practicing from a client video. Language is Malayalam. And the topic is drop shipping. Sorry if I said that wrong. I want to know about pacing, how to improve the sound design, and ideation improvements. Cool. Pacing, sound design, ideation improvements. Let's check it out.
ഇന്ത്യയിലിരുന്ന് ഡോളറിൽ റവന്യൂ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ഒരു ബിസിനസ്സാണ് ഞാൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇന്ത്യ
For instance, maybe you can do priority for tiers. Yeah. So that was another suggestion that was made before amongst friends, which was, oh, maybe Kaizen members, like people who are in my paid community, can get priority, which I think is smart. As much as I hate paywalling stuff and, you know, giving priority to other people and stuff like that, like I think it makes the most sense. And, you know, obviously I want to reward people who are supporting my work and what I do, because that's how I can continue doing this. So I try not to look at it in that spotlight. But anyways, let's get into the video. I'm like getting distracted.
ഇന്ത്യയിലിരുന്ന് ഡോളറിൽ റവന്യൂ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ഒരു ബിസിനസ്സാണ് ഞാൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇതിന് വെയർഹൗസ് ഇല്ല, ഇൻവെന്ററി ഇല്ല, ഒരു പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ഞാൻ തൊടുന്ന പോലും ഇല്ല. ആൻഡ് ഇതാണ് ഇന്റർനാഷണൽ ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഷിപ്പിംഗ്. വളരെ സിമ്പിൾ ആയ കൺസെപ്റ്റ് ആണ്.
So I'm not going to understand what they're saying, but I'm just paying attention to sound, pacing, visuals.
നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് കണ്ടത് വാങ്ങുന്നു. നിങ്ങൾ ആ ഓർഡർ നേരെ സപ്ലയർക്ക് ഫോർവേഡ് ചെയ്യണം. അവരത് കസ്റ്റമറിലേക്ക് ഡയറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഷിപ്പ് ചെയ്യും. നിങ്ങൾ ആ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിൽ തൊടുന്ന പോലും ഇല്ല ഒരിക്കലും. കസ്റ്റമർ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തന്ന പൈസയും നിങ്ങൾ സപ്ലയർക്ക് കൊടുത്ത
Is he holding a mic? Oh, okay. It looked like he was holding a mic, but he wasn't. It was just a hand gesture.
സപ്ലയർക്ക് കൊടുത്ത പൈസയും തമ്മിലുള്ള ഡിഫറൻസ് ആണ് നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രോഫിറ്റ്. ഇത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ ഈ ബിസിനസ് മോഡൽ. നിങ്ങൾ ഇന്ത്യയിലിരുന്ന് ഡോളറിലോ പൗണ്ടിലോ സെൽ ചെയ്യുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് ഓരോ ഓർഡറിലെയും ചെറിയൊരു മാർജിൻ പോലും.
So even though I don't understand what he's saying, I still feel pretty engaged because of the visuals and cutaway.
പ്രൊഡക്റ്റും പിന്നെ കൃത്യമായ മാർക്കറ്റിംഗും. ഇത് സ്ക്രാച്ച് ചെയ്യുന്ന എങ്ങനെ ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യാന്ന് കൃത്യമായി പഠിക്കണം. കമന്റ് ദ വേർഡ് യൂട്യൂബ്, ഞാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇതിന്റെ ഫുൾ വീഡിയോ അയച്ചുതരാം.
That was great. Nice and snappy. Exactly what I would expect from this genre of video. Pacing I thought was good. I thought the sound effects were good too. They complemented the visuals quite well. In terms of ideation improvement, I think that it actually is nice that you're consistently using the same thing, which is emojis. I think that some of the more beginner things that people do is they try to mix too many styles. They're like, oh, this looks pretty cool, let's put this in here, let's try this because this was kind of cool, and we put it in here, and then it ends up being messy. But there's a level of consistency that's happening in this video, visually speaking. Same with the font choice as well, with the text on screen like that. You're not trying to change the text to anything else, like it's always the same font. it feels intentional. It feels like it's trying to remain consistent with maybe the brand. So there's no confusion when I'm watching this video. So nice job on that part. I like the sounds being used as well. Like I think a lot of things are working quite well. There's some visual hierarchy with the text as well, with like the different colors to your text. So it's great. I really like this video. I think the only thing is that maybe because it's a vertical, how to say it, vertical short form video, we're watching on a mobile, right? I'm watching this on a computer screen, so of course it's enlarged. But when I'm watching it on a phone like this, everything is a bit smaller. So when it's a bit smaller, the tiny graphics like this, I feel it can be blown up just a little bit bigger. And there is something to be careful about when it comes to how big you should have graphics and text, because usually when it's kind of small, like the way that you have it here, it conveys a feeling of like, oh, it's pristine. It feels kind of like luxury. It feels kind of like high quality, because when you're looking at brands like luxury or high-end brands, they'll usually have text that's a bit smaller and thinner, and a lot of negative space. It places a lot of importance to that graphic and whatever. But when it's on a phone, we want to prioritize legibility and clarity. So in this case, I think it might make more sense to like scale up by like maybe 20%, like 30%, 50% for each of these graphics, so it's visually easier to see on a smaller screen. That's my opinion. But I think like the dotted lines, the animation, the smoothness of that, when you're cutting to the animations as well, it's great. I think it's working really well. I think it's a solid video. And I do feel like it's a good quality video that you should be proud of. So nice job on that. And thank you for sharing your work, man. What do you guys think in chat? How do you guys feel after watching that video? It was solid. It was great. But let us move on. We are getting close to finishing. We got, I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. Fabi? I think it's Fabi. I remember them being a recent cousin member in my community, and saying that they submitted their work. So I've been looking forward to watching it on stream. Feedback focus is, I'd like to know if the story and pacing kept you genuinely interested in the video. It's only 50% of the entire doc, but I'd like to know if the story was interesting enough to continue. If it isn't, what do you think I could do better next time in the edit or when selecting a subject to create a doc on? Okay. I struggle a lot with color grading. Any tips? I also struggle with sound. So there's a few things that you want me to focus on, but unfortunately I'm going to try and touch on as many as I can, but just to make sure that I can get through all the submissions, I try to adhere to the format of one thing that I think is working really well, and one thing that I would put some more focus on. But if any of the rest of the stuff come up while I'm watching it, I will make comments about it. You also struggle with sound. I did my best to apply what I learned from 3 sound design secrets 90% of editors don't know in that project breakdown. Any feedback? Okay, so sound, color grading, and basically if it's interesting, right? So the context is that this is a short documentary following J.R. Hutter, a former nightlife DJ whose life unraveled through addiction, self-destruction, and a loss of identity. As he discovers that sobriety alone isn't enough, J.R. Rebuilds his life through discipline, spirituality, and the power of small daily habits. I've always admired those who can tell a story well enough to keep their audience hooked. Documentaries have always stood out to me because we're able to immerse ourselves in these new worlds and perspectives. So for this project, I was looking to explore the art of storytelling and what it takes to tell a good story. Nice. I think that's a great area to really lean into. It's why I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I'm interested in documentaries, because I'm not interested in like necessarily shooting them, but I've always admired and enjoy watching docs because they are sharing these real life experiences where it's like, these people are human just like me, and if they can overcome these challenges and, you know, share such a different perspective, then it inspires me to do the same. And it's just gaining perspective from other people, kind of like lets me think differently as well. Oh, you're in the chat. Yeah, we're about to watch your video. I'm gonna try and keep all of those things in mind while I'm watching it. But I have like a brain like a hamster and like a memory of a goldfish. So. But overall, I understand you're just trying to see if it's engaging enough to keep me interested. Just a heads up is that, you know, if you are it's always easier to be more invested in a story or a genre that you actually enjoy watching, stuff like that. I don't know a lot of nightlife stuff, I guess, or I don't watch a lot of that genre of things. So I'm going to be going in with that lens. I'm like a general audience that doesn't usually watch this kind of stuff. And any tips on color grading and sound. All right, let's check it out.
There are times that I've looked at things that I thought I couldn't accomplish, and I say, well, you said this once before, it's a limiting belief. I know that I can accomplish this if I put the work in.
I know that I need this.
I thought my life was going to be completely different. I remember after a 3-day bender of just drinking and cocaine and no sleep, and I felt like shit, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was crying my eyes out, and I just was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Something has to change, otherwise something really bad's gonna happen.
I like the emotional tone that's being set already.
Those people and drinking and partying and them making me feel accepted was a big factor in why I think I continued to do it, because I just wanted to fit in somewhere. You know, I was bad at sitting by myself. I called my buddy who I knew was in AA. I said, just let's go. I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know anything about it. I was always kind of standoffish towards it because of what I thought was like a religious aspect. The biggest part of AA that worked for me was having the community. I think that's what really helped me stay sober. Yes, I wasn't drinking, but I was also still cheating, still lying, still being that same piece of shit, eating like crap. I looked like shit. And that was just kind of how I lived for 3 years. But for me, looking around the room and seeing all these people that they still look depressed and they still look happy. It seems like they don't have a lot. I looked around, I'm like, I don't know, I don't feel like I fit in here, and I don't want what these people have. I want more.
Great. First little bit of it, and I wasn't bored at all. I think you did great. I think it was a solid documentary so far. I think the way they were conveying that emotion of like him, his past, his challenges, and how he wants to transform from that state into a newly desired one, and the problems that he faces, it makes me feel invested in his story. And I think that's your goal. And yeah, it makes me want to keep watching more. Let me know if you guys agree in chat, because like I said, like, although I don't watch a lot of docs, like this makes me feel like I'm invested in his life. And just like, as I described, when it comes to watching docs, like they're a person just like me. So it makes me want to see how it is they were able to overcome their challenges. I think in terms of color grading, you're doing a great job. It does give a pretty like professional, pristine look, not in a way where it feels very like, how to say it? It doesn't feel too like crisp and digital in video, for the lack of better terms. I think it's lit quite well, and that helps. That especially helps with color grading, because you can only do so much in color to push the style and make it look good. But in this case, I think like the exposure was, you know, set correctly. Did you shoot this, or did you just cut this? Don't know if it specifies, but I think that, yeah, the color grading is solid. I don't think it looked like there's nothing about it in terms of the color grading that felt amateur or felt low quality. Like it looks like the color I would expect from a quality documentary. So I think you nailed that. And I think the big giveaway for stuff like that is just like retaining details in the highlight, making sure that the skin tones look normal and like the quality of the colors don't look too like pushed in a weird extreme way. This still felt like it had some style to it, like it has this warmness to it while still feeling natural, which is really hard to nail, and I think you did a solid job on that. I think in terms of sound, I'm trying to remember, the sound was good too. Like there's a lot of diegetic sounds. I don't think I had much of a complaint with sound, but I did feel like the music was good in the second half when it's more of the melancholic, like we're trying to feel with him on his sort of like, you know, his challenge to overcome his whole like addiction phase. And we sort of feel with him in this. And we have like this nature sound and stuff like that. That's working really well. I think the first little bit,
I know that I can accomplish this.
I'm not sure what it is about this like poppy music that set a very strange tone for me. And I don't have an answer to that in terms of like what music you should use, because that's a tricky thing. But I think this set a different tone. I think it gives me more like, how would I say it? Like family friendly, uplifty type of documentary. Like we're going to watch, I don't know, a mother go through the first time raising a child or something. Like that's kind of the tone that it gives me with this music. And I think a different track selection will get us into the genre a little bit more appropriately. And although it's great to have this kind of like nightclubby music, this music selection was not quite it for me. Like it has this stock music quality to it that I don't really know if it's like the instrument choice or it's the genre. But personally, it kind of pulled me out a little bit. But this little bit where it's just like, oh, it's like a suck back into silence works really great, because there's that contrast of like the whole like live fast, die young type of energy to tranquility, reflection. He's looking at the window. He's thinking, man, this was my past. How do I go into like, you know, be sober? How do I change? How do I be better from that?
Drinking, and I just
There's a lot of regret. And we feel that with this whole silhouette and like you're darkening everything.
has to change, otherwise.
Looks great. It really sets the tone right for this doc. So there's a lot of great things that are working in this document, but those are just a few things to kind of like nitpick it. Really, like I think, as I said, like storytelling, pacing, it's working really well. One of the things I wanted to point out while I was watching is that there are some moments where,
You know, I was bad at.
I think so, like over here.
I call
Like when he's talking about, you know, it's hard to kind of like sit with himself and not be around other people who are also like kind of encouraging him to like go through this whole addiction lifestyle. You're like holding on to silence, not like complete silence, but like there's ambient sound and music, and he's not speaking. And there's this negative space that allows the viewers to really breathe. And I have trouble having a good sense of that. And I think you did that really well in this doc so far. So that's something I just want to like praise you for and make sure that you keep doing in your documents, because especially in an era where a lot of people are used to these fast, snippy social media edits, it can be hard to determine when's a good time to breathe, like let the shot breathe. And I think you've got a good sense of that just from watching this. So
I was always kind of standoffish towards it.
great stuff. Oh, you shot it. Nice. Dude, the shots look great too. Yeah, man, I think this is really good. This is some really solid work. I think you're accomplishing everything that you need to. I think the rest of it really comes from just practice, trying out different stories. I don't think I have any tips really with the color grading. Like it already looks really good. Just paying attention to the highlights again, and you're already doing that this shot looked a little flat to me. This is the only shot that kind of bothered me, but the rest of it, like, looks great. Yeah, man, you are killing it in the short doc genre. So yeah, thanks for submitting your work. But what do you guys think in chat? Like, were you guys invested as invested as I was? Do you think it's working? Because I think it's working really well. Rin says, one of the best I've seen this stream. I agree. It's definitely up there. Bobby says, I appreciate it. Thank you for being so detailed. Of course. Yeah, I'm glad that I was able to hit some of these things. We got 2 more submissions, but before we get into it, my voice is dying a little bit, so I need to get a bit more water. I will be right back. I'm going to hit this button on my macro pad, and hopefully everything will be okay. Hold on. There we go. I'm back. Thanks for waiting. I'm noticing that there's a bit of a flicker, LED flicker that's happening. I think it's from the light bulb that we'll need to kind of like pay attention to moving forward. But continuing where we left off, we only have two more submissions to get through. So the next one is Losh. Go to the Vimeo link where let's see what the context is in the feedback focus. So trying things in the chat, just wanted feedback on overall pacing, audio, voiceover, sound effects, and just overall package. Don't hold back. Would love to connect in the future. Also based in Canada. Sweet. Got a fellow Canadian. We got more Spencer in the chat. Brother, I fucking loved your sound design video. So sick. Thank you. And welcome to the stream. All right, we're going to check this out. I'm assuming these are the same videos. So basically, overall pacing, audio, overall package. I'll just kind of ramble on as I watch it, but
how you put it,
let's see.
The moments leading up to when it's time for bed have a huge impact on your following morning. Many people tend to overlook the way you wind down as it directly affects your quality of sleep, mood, and routine the next day. Now, while there are a lot of morning routines out there that display waking up early, being productive, going to the gym, and so forth, I feel like there aren't many night routines out there that demonstrate how to structure your nights for restful sleep, all while maintaining energy to tackle on any task the following day.
So far, really love the pacing and the quality of the shots.
Especially when you aim to wake up early. Now today, I want to share some tips and bring you along to unwind with me.
Ooh. Nice little grid split screen happening. Dude, that's such a sick shot.
First things first, eating. Such a simple yet overlooked concept. You'd be surprised how many people skip meals when life
Clearly Gox expired with the jazz and the B-roll.
You're thinking, or what we'd call brain fog. Remember, it's not that you feel tired, you're just under-fueled. Hunger messes with your focus, your mood, and your ability to actually finish anything. That email you're writing for the third time might just be your stomach screaming louder than your brain. The top 1%ers know this. Look at LeBron James, Barack Obama.
Am I a top 1%er because I know this too?
In food like it's fuel for success. Because it is.
You'll feel the difference, trust me. The days where I wake up without feeling deprived, I notice I'm laser focused. Less scrolling, more doing.
That's great.
My brain's not worried about a meal. I'm already thinking about the first task.
Shots are really,
Honestly, this is just a
really working well for me.
step to finding a rhythm when it comes to this type of stuff. Stick around for a deeper look at how your environment and a few other key habits can take your productivity to a whole nother level.
Dude, this was solid work. I really like the quality of the shots, the pacing as well.
Put it.
This opening is really good too. The little flash cut with the sound effects keeps me engaged. I think there's a level of polish that's happening with the lighting, the framing, like the color grade. It's all working really well. It shows that you're paying attention to a lot of the fundamentals that make it a visually compelling experience. Like it looks like you've shot for a while, dude. Like I love these shots. The effects that you're using, you're not like overdoing any of it. You're paying attention to your exposure, and as I said, the color grading is working really well too. It gives this, I don't know if authentic is the right word, but it just feels very like grounded. A lot of it's very like naturally lit as well, so it feels like I'm really experiencing things eye level with you. Yeah, a lot of creativity in some of these shots, and as I said, like it's clearly a Gox inspired, but like I think I'm always impressed when people are inspired by a creator and take certain elements of it, but it doesn't directly feel like it was their video. So there's still a creative spin on things, and I felt that with this. Kind of like what I said about like the lighting and color grading making it feel kind of like ground level or like eye level with me as the viewer. It doesn't feel like it's trying to be overly cinematic. It feels like it's just enough polish for me to be invested in the story, what you're saying, and the shots that complement it. So yeah, and I love these moments where it feels like choreographed, where someone takes away your phone and puts in a laptop. Like it feels like there's some production quality behind it that doesn't like take me out of it or anything like that. And you're just not overusing effects or anything and nothing like feels out of place. Some of these transitions as well, like
especially when you aim to wake up early.
Is it this one? There was like some sort of
People tend to overlook the way you wind down as a direct
some sort of like
impact on your following morning.
wipe transition that happens somewhere around here that felt really smooth.
Affects your quality of sleep, mood, and routine the next day. Now, while there are a lot of
Sound design's really good too.
display waking up early, being productive,
Wait a second. That shot looks really familiar. This slow shutter one? I remember doing a shot like that.
being productive.
So it's just kind of like felt a little nostalgic.
I feel like there aren't many night
That was a great moment as well.
how to structure your
Just a great sense of pacing. I think overall it's really good. I mean, really good is an understatement. I think this was like an awesome job. Like, I feel like you have quite a bit of experience under your belt after watching this video, because you're paying attention to a lot of things that make a compelling visual experience. I think the only thing I would kind of pay attention to is I think the voiceover is a tad quiet. I think it's being drowned out by everything else, like the music and the sound. So just pay attention to your levels for that. And maybe it's also the EQ of it, because it feels like instead of the mic kind of like talking like this, where it feels like it's a little bit closer, it's sounding like I'm hearing it kind of like from over here-ish. So it feels a little bit distant, especially for some of these shots where it's like
just under fueled,
I guess when it's closer to your mouth, it's okay. It was more the beginning where
all while maintaining energy to tackle on any overlooked concept. You'd be
it was around like here
concept.
where it feels like just the jazz music is a little bit too loud. But that's kind of like just being nitpicky. I think overall this is amazing. People in chat are loving it as well. We got Llama fans saying WTF, who is that? That's the best so far. Yeah, this is definitely up there. So dude, you are killing it. Thank you for submitting your work, man. That was a treat to watch. But let us move on to the final submission. We got the Humble Geek. Video for Smiles. Hi there, I'm excited to be part of this new community and to potentially work with you all. I found your content through YouTube Shorts. You make amazing stuff. YouTube Shorts. It's always interesting hearing how people find me. Someone who was in chat found me through TikTok, YouTube Shorts, mediums that like I don't put as much effort into. So here's one of my recent works formatted in your template. So Feedback Focus is trying to explore more techniques with storytelling using AI as a tool. Did this come off as real filmmaking or a slop? I know visually needs some work. It's AI after all, but do other areas like pacing and overall storytelling come through cleanly? Context: I built this with a goal of trying to expand my horizon and my tool set. I'm an orchestrator, director at heart, with limited access to resources, but always looking to collaborate. I'm always open to limit testing and seeing what I can put together with what I have. Nice. I think having that experimental mindset is the core to being a good artist. Just being willing to try different things instead of being stagnant and just complacent with the toolkit you already have, or just accepting that like this is your bar and that's as far as you go. It takes trying new things and really limit testing, as you said, to grow. Sorry, when you said you were allowing a multiple format, I just went right with it. This should work. Okay. This should hopefully work. Okay, so basically the main thing is, did it come up as slop? Do the fundamentals work? Does the pacing and storytelling come across?
Smile.
Chaque matin, la même fenêtre, le même café, le même regard discret. Il cache son sourire sous ses lèvres fermées, pensant que les années l'ont rendu oublié. Elle pose doucement une tasse devant lui, avec ce regard simple qui éclaire la pluie. Chaque bonjour dure un peu plus longtemps, comme si le silence apprenait doucement. Un sourire n'est jamais parfait, il suffit qu'il soit vrai. De cœurs patients, de mains timides, qui apprennent enfin à marcher côte à côte.
Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna smile with his teeth? Let's go. Dude, I thought I would never say this, but I think for an AI generated video, it's a pretty solid video. Unfortunately, it does give me, I don't want to say it conveys a sense of AI slop. I think it's just like the general connotation and the automatic prejudice of like, oh, it's clearly AI generated, I automatically hate it, which should not actually be the case. And it's part of this whole like, I guess like exploration of feelings that I have as a creator when it comes to AI usage, and whether it is producing with AI or ingesting AI generated material. It's like, why do I feel this way when I watch AI videos? Is it because it's like a low amount of effort, when clearly I actually felt like there was a lot of care and attention that went into this? And I think in terms of storytelling and pacing, all of it's working well. There's even like a little transition that happens over here that like felt smooth. It's like what you would expect to see from an ad. And like this kind of like genre of video, and like the color is nice and warm and nostalgic, and like we have still this like cleaner clinical look that is not out of place. It's still warm with like some mixed color temperature with the blue. And then it's like we're back to the scene, and like everything, I don't want to say like, how would I say it? Maybe this is not the right way to say it, but like everything fundamentally is working really well in terms of the storytelling, the pacing, the transitions, the music, the mood, everything, except the fact that AI is carrying through the visuals. And it's unfortunate to say that, because if we use like real actors and we had the nuances of like micro expressions of like her being disappointed that he's not smiling with his teeth, him being disappointed that he can't smile because he doesn't have, because he has like a missing tooth, just like those small things is like kind of in line with the things I was sharing in my last YouTube video about AI usage from a filmmaker and creator standpoint, which is, I don't think AI humans can capture those nuances, like real performances that real people connect with. Like it still cannot be conveyed through AI generated people. This is definitely one of the best ones I've seen, but it still gives me that sense of uncanny valley, that sense of disconnect that comes from like performances, like the nuances of real human performances, and conveying those details that make us feel emotions and really like empathize with the character. Like here, I kind of empathize with it, but it's this weird middle ground between like cartoon and animation and real people. It's like here, and I'm like kind of confused mentally. And I don't know if that was the best way to describe it. I don't know if you guys agree in chat as well, but like, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts and feelings of it. Rin says, I think it's because AI still lacks that same consistency across scenes. Maybe it is. Like, this is probably one of the more consistent ones I've seen, actually, in terms of like character consistency. Like, it checks off a lot of the boxes in terms of doing things right when it comes to AI usage, but it's still just like, I think, the nuances of real human performances and micro expressions to really carry the weight of conveying this emotion to the viewers. Joker says, that's very helpful. Oh, okay. This is your submission. I really appreciate your feedback on it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, solid job. I can tell a lot of care went into this. This is, again, one of the better, if not one of the best AI short films / like ad for this like dental implant thing that I've ever seen. because there is like even this POV shot and stuff like that. Like you've got a great creative eye in terms of directing. It's just the medium that I think is kind of pulling it back a notch. And that's not your fault because, as you said, you got limited access to resources and you're just working with the best that you've got. And I think this is great practice in developing that creative eye because from a directorial standpoint, I think this is executed really, really well. Joker says everything you said completely resonates with me. I know AI has a ways to go, but I wouldn't be a real creator at heart if I didn't explore with all tools out there. Exactly. So I totally commend you for your effort and being able to use the tools that you have at hand, because it's just the same as like when people are like, you want to be a director, you just got to shoot something and then you're a director. Doesn't matter. Like, you just take out your phone and start recording. Like you're a director. Like that's exactly what you should be doing. And this is your way of doing it. And it shows again that you have this director eye that I think is being conveyed no matter what the medium is. In this case, AI generated videos, still, I think it's a enjoyable viewing experience and really comes across like that you care. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm glad that you're able to tune in while I go over your submission. Thanks for waiting because you are the last submission in this channel. And thank you to everyone who has tuned in for this long. Like this is one of my longer streams, almost 3 hours. Oh, I really should cap the submission window. I think I am going to do a 24-hour window for submissions. And we'll see how many people submit in the 24-hour window. And then maybe I'll review like the first 10 or 12 or something like that. Because I don't think I can do another 3-hour stream. But yeah. Let's go back to the camera over here. There we go. Still getting used to using this stream deck thing going on. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. It's getting late. It's 11 p.m. over where I am. I don't know what time it is for you guys, but whether it's in the morning, at night like I am, or even later into the night. I know some of you are like in different parts of the world. So I think I hear my cat scratching. I can't stop ignoring him. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's always a pleasure watching your guys' work live on stream, being able to share this viewing experience together and also get the opinions of other people who are tuning in as well, not just from me. And as always, like it takes courage to be able to share your work and get it kind of like ripped apart and like watched in such a analytical eye. But all of you are like doing such amazing work, and it's always a pleasure seeing how talented the members are in my community and people who are watching my channel. So thank you for submitting your work. Thank you for being here, keeping me company. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your month, which is, I mean, it might be July 1st in a lot of wherever you guys are. So hopefully you guys enjoy the next month until I stream. And if you're not already a member in the community, make sure that you join and that you are you have the review ready role so that you are notified for the next window to submit your work so we can watch it live on stream. But yeah, that's it. Until next month, stay safe, enjoy July, and I will see you guys next time.